Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Haley Hoffman-Smith and I'm the friend who helps you bring your pipe dreams to life through manifestation and motivation. Today's video is all about my morning manifesting routine. It takes little bits and pieces from a lot of other thought leaders and spiritual gurus on how to make the most of the morning as your prime manifesting space. You may have seen my video, Manifest While You Sleep, putting it up here or up here. This video really operates on the same premise. When you're falling asleep at night and first thing in the morning, your brain is in a different brainwave state, particularly the theta brainwave state. As you start to wake up, like you and me right now, your brain goes into the alpha brainwave state or the beta brainwave state, but the theta brainwave state is really the sweet spot. What is told to you or what you consume during your theta brainwave state is more likely to be accepted by the subconscious because it's almost like the gateways are down. And so in the mornings, when you're first waking up and moving up into the next brainwave states, you can really take charge of your reality and implement some powerful manifesting routines and techniques that will really transform everything for you. So what you just saw was a preview on what my morning manifestation routine looks like, and now I will explain it so you can follow along step by step. So one of the best books that I ever read is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza, and I really recommend reading it if you haven't already. And something that Joe Dispenza says is that every single morning when you wake up, you're immediately reminded of who you are, what your pain is, what your memories were, what's going on in your life. When you look at the room around you, right? You wake up in your bed, you open your eyes and you remember, okay, this is what we're dealing with. And that is also why the morning is so powerful, because there's not a lot that can stop all of those memories from coming back. You're like, what day is it? Why is my alarm going off? What's the first thing I have today? Why did I sleep in? It's a great time to immediately interrupt it and say, I'm gonna get into a high vibe state no matter how I'm feeling right now. This requires priming the body, the mind, and the spirit. So we'll talk about the body really quickly first. I showed what helps me the most. So that's some lemon water to detox, and I'm usually really thirsty first thing in the morning. Right as I said that, my mouth kind of watered. I'm like, ooh, I want some lemon water, so yummy. Any type of water, if you just chug like a big glass of water first thing in the morning, because you haven't, been drinking water all night, right? You're kind of dehydrated. That's a great way to get started. I am a big caffeine drinker, and coffee first thing in the morning is really good to help me wake up because I'm always a bit groggy. And then you saw the protein shake that I make in the mornings with plant-based protein, collagen, and just some other things that get my body feeling really good. So this is making sure that I'm not going to come out of my meditation hungry. I'm not going to come out of my morning reading still feeling really tired. It's all about getting ready to tackle the day totally. So I like to kind of compile all of these different elements of getting ready for the day and getting into my highest vibration state and feeling my strongest before I put the manifestation part of my morning to the side and jump into my work or whatever it is that I need to do that day. So find what works best for you. I know some people don't like to eat first thing in the morning, so that's totally fine. Again, a lot of this is just feeling into your body and feeling what feels best for you. But I do like to incorporate my lemon water, my coffee, and my protein shake during some part of this morning manifesting routine. A big part too is you did not see me check my phone during my morning manifesting routine, because that should never, ever, ever be part of your mornings. I used to wake up, roll over, check my phone, check my email, check my social media, check my text messages, and before I even remembered what day it was, my brain was automatically overloaded with all my responsibilities, all my stresses, all the things I needed to get back to. The best thing that you can do is have your phone on Do Not Disturb if that's what you use for your alarm, or have a separate alarm clock completely so you can wake up on time, you can see what time it is, but you don't see anything. You don't see a preview on your phone of who texted you, you don't see any type of notification, anything that can distract you away from your time to connect with yourself and to connect with spirit. The next step is priming the mind. So I like to try to make my bed first thing in the morning, or tidy up if it wasn't already tidied before, because this gets my mind into the most decluttered, focused space possible. I also go ahead and prime my mind with some reading. Sometimes I do reading before visualization, sometimes after. It just depends on how I'm feeling, but I always have a whole catalog of books that I'm reading or rereading that are making me feel really excited about my life, really connected to my purpose, really connected to spirit. So the book that I'm reading right now is The Holographic Universe. I've been reading it for a while over a series of a lot of these past videos because this book is one heck of a book. It really does take some time to slow down and read. I'm reading like 10 pages at a time, and that takes a while. I do have a list of all the manifestation books that I recommend in case you're looking for recommendations, linking that here as well. Or you can journal, just anything that's getting your mind into a space where you're open to things around you, or you're brain dumping onto paper, just so your mind can feel clear and excited and inspired for the day. And then for your spirit, and this is where the magic really happens. You saw that I have my handy dandy manifestation. It's just a tiny little journal that I've devoted solely to my gratitude and my manifestation. I don't think I learned this from anywhere else. I think I just started to try to do it as a way of getting myself into a place where I felt really grateful, but then also getting into a place where I was reminded of the goals that I was working towards every day. But the valuable thing that I found about this and why I recommend it so often is because the way that you write down the things that you are grateful for should be the way that you write down the 3 things that you want to manifest. So for example, one of the #1 things I always write down that I'm grateful for is time with my friends. You know, if the night before I went to a really good dinner with one of my friends or something along those lines, I'll write down, I am so grateful for the quality time I got to spend with X. So then I see how I wrote that. So in that case, I am so grateful for blank. Well, I'll use that same language to write the thing that I'm manifesting as if I already have it. So say that I'm manifesting a literary agent. I would write, I am so grateful for an empowering and exciting conversation with my literary agent. Do you see how that works? I had been noticing that since we're told to write things that we're manifesting in current form, I was writing them in kind of a funky way, like writing them in a way that I would not write it if I'd actually had it. For example, if you're trying to manifest the apartment of your dreams, well, think about if you already had it and you're sitting in this apartment of your dreams writing this. You would not write, I'm so grateful that I just signed a lease on this 2-bedroom apartment with all these details. Like, you probably wouldn't say that. You could probably say, I'm so grateful that I get to sit in my beautiful new apartment as the light streams in the giant floor to ceiling windows. It's the tiniest shift, but I do think it does a lot for telling your subconscious what it should already be grateful for, because when you ask, it is given, Abraham Hicks reference. So the more it can seem rooted in something that's actually happening now, as opposed to the lack of that thing because you're going into like too much detail the way that you wouldn't actually express gratitude for it, the better. So 3 points of gratitude, and I really take the time to feel the gratitude, feel it throughout my body. That's honestly the most important part. Even if you don't write it down because you don't have your journal with you for some reason, or you can't find a pen, just taking a moment to go through 3 things that you really are grateful for and feeling what gratitude feels like in your body is such a high vibe state. And then those 3 manifestations. A question I get very, very often is, which 3 manifestations should I write down? Because a lot of times we're manifesting a ton of things at once. I actually had this challenge in honor of 11/11 to write down 111 wishes, 111 manifestations. And this came from Happy Pocket Full of Money, which says to never just be focusing on 1 or 5 core manifestations. Always make sure that you have this giant list, because it takes the focus off of all of the little ones, which gives each of the wishes room to breathe. And it gives the universe more of a direction for, okay, how are we going to grant these wishes or these manifestations to this individual? And actually, it's been really working for me and my friends. It's been really cool to see how that's happened. All you do, write down 111 things you want. It's going to really push you, but it's also one of the most exciting manifesting exercises that I've ever done. And everyone else has also said that they've gotten a lot from it. So keep that one in mind. When it comes to the 3 manifestations of that day, I want you to write down the 3 things that come to your mind first. And these might be the same every single day for the first month. They might be different every single day. You might switch them up. I think the ones that are coming to your heart and to your mind and you're thinking, ooh, I really kind of want this. I think it's coming up for a reason, and you'll write it down again as if you already have it and you're grateful for it, but trust what comes up. Just choose 3. I mean, if you wanted to, you could write down all 111 again, but that would be a lot. But just 3, just the 3 gratitudes. And the really cool thing about this, you guys, is that I have been able to flip back through my little book and see what I wrote like last June and see how the things I've written down have come to fruition. A lot of times we forget the things that we want by the time we actually get them, so we forget how badly we had wanted them. I was actually on a TikTok live and I found this little entry that said, I'm so grateful to have 50,000 TikTok followers. And at the time that I was reading that, I had about like 175,000. And I forgot that that was a benchmark that I had been so excited to work towards. So talk about some more gratitude within that and reminding yourself, wow, you know, just a few months ago, I wanted something that I now currently have. Because again, you forget the things that you once wanted. You forget how badly you wanted it once you have it. So that is a really great part of the exercise. And finally is the meditation and visualization. So visualization is so key because if you can see it in your mind's eye, you can hold it in your hands. You can experience it in your actual life. Visualization is what builds out the neural pathways of your brain to look for the things that you most want to have or to experience. And visualization, when done correctly, should get you really excited. Because what if I told you right now to imagine your biggest dream ever coming to fruition, getting that email, walking out into that stage, getting in front of that camera, getting that letter in the mail, whatever it was. You should feel that authentic excitement and allow yourself to feel it. A note here, because I have a photographic memory, which means that when I visualize things, I see it in images. Other people hear it, other people feel it as like sensations. So something you can do if you're having a really hard time with that visualization component of meditation is to simply look up a vision board, look up a Pinterest board, just look at the thing that you are wanting, or look at a picture that embodies what it is that you're trying to manifest. If you're trying to manifest peace, is there a picture of a beautiful beach somewhere and you can imagine it's so peaceful as you sit by the beach? If you're trying to manifest a really great group of friends, can you find a picture of TV show characters who are really good friends, and that reminds you of how it feels to have a core group of people? Get creative with this. And my point is here, you don't have to have your eyes closed for this visualization. Sometimes it's just what you have in front of you that you're actually looking at. The other part of meditation, I don't want to tell you how to meditate because everybody does it differently, but in addition to visualization, I just like to take a few moments to get really quiet and centered with my breath. I imagine that I'm calling back my authentic energy by putting a bubble above my head and naming it my full name. Then I give that bubble a color. And I try to imagine where throughout the world my energy has been dispersed to. So this could be somebody that I spoke to. This could be somewhere that I went. And I just set the intention to call back all the energy. I see all the energy of that color coming back to my bubble. The bubble gets bigger and bigger. I pop the bubble and I watch my energy come down through my body. This is something that I learned from the Interconnection Institute in Denver, Colorado, when I learned energy work and meditation, and it seems to help a lot of people. It definitely makes me feel more balanced, more focused, and more sure and centered in myself. You can also imagine a grounding cord going from your first chakra, which is right here in your base, all the way down to the center of the earth, and that can feel very stabilizing. But I just think taking a few minutes to get in touch with your breath, to call back that energy, and then do some form of visualization or reach for the best feeling thought that you can, another Abraham Hicks reference, is such a powerful way to start the day. This can take 30 minutes, it can take 20 minutes, it can take an hour, but I do think it's worth setting your alarm a little bit earlier just to have that time, because it does pay off and great dividends. So I hope this has been helpful. Let me know which tips that you implement and how they help. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe, because lots more content like this coming. All right, bye guys.